The video is Leila Nishmas Shmuel Baruch and Chaim Tzvidoiv. We left off last week with the question, what is the mania? What prevents a person from reaching this highest level called first level pleasure, dveikus? We speak about clinging with the Rabbeinu Shalom, avas Hashem, love of Hashem. How do we have love of Hashem? How do we fall in love with Hashem? So I'm going to share with you, first of all, what the Nesiva Shalom, the Chassidish Sefer, quotes something that I think is very powerful and very telling, and I think will give us an understanding of what it means to prevent and to be a mechitza, a partition between us and having this amazing experience of being in love with Hashem, being in dveikus with Hashem. And as my good friend pointed out about here, there's two parts. There's the mania and there's also the counterfeit, but I actually think that they tie together. Let me explain to you what I think I mean. In the Nesiva Shalom he explains, there's a pasuk in Dvarim, it says, Anoichi oimed ben Hashem uvenechem. Literally what that means is, Moshe Rabbeinu was saying, I am standing between you and Hashem. But there's a Chassidish pshat, Anoichi. Anoichi could also refer to ourselves. The Anochiyut means our self. Our atzmius, our body, stands between us and Hashem. Sometimes, and what really Chazal say in Maseches Kiddushin, if there's one thing that we could identify that stands between us and Hashem, stands between us and having the best pleasure possible, it's Anoichi, it's us. The Gemara says, Maseches Kiddushin, Ein ani v'hu yecholim lodo, me and him, someone that's a Baal Gaiva, someone that is focused on themselves, I can't live with them. Hashem says I can't have a relationship. So here the Gemara reveals to us the greatest partition, the greatest mechitza, the greatest stop for us to have that amazing experience is us. And what do we mean by us? So let me explain the following. Anoichi, you ask someone, point to yourself. So most people are going to do this. But we know, more al-pi Kabbalah, we say it every single day, there's really this. This is where the neshama is. Although there's different parts of the neshama, nefesh, ruach, and neshama, but the ikar neshama is here in our brain. So when we speak about ourselves, there's really two parts. There's the body and there's the soul. When we say Anoichi Hashem, oimed ben Hashem v'nechem, Anoichi, us, that's referring to our body. That's referring to what we want. That's referring to when we're making decisions that are going to make us feel better, our body feel better. We once discussed this. If we would use something, we would look for something in this world that's the counterfeit pleasure of the first level pleasure. I think it's obvious. And I've seen and experienced, not myself, but seen it, where people lose themselves to the highest level of drugs, whether it's psychedelic, whether it's much more than just the simple weed and the marijuana that people use, and even that itself, it takes a person out of their body, which is an amazing experience. It is. They say it's an amazing experience, and you could see, unfortunately, there's an incredible drop. Unfortunately, it's not real. But it actually is a mashal. It's a shtickle mashal. It's an amazing thing Hashem created as a counterfeit pleasure. So again, I'm not talking about medical marijuana, and I'm not talking about the person that needs it, because though sometimes a person medically, of course, needs it. But so many times a person could lose themselves to it. The real pleasure, now what stops us from having the real pleasure, the real love? See, here's an amazing story. I'm walking out of the office, I think it was Wednesday night. I was exhausted. A Chassidish guy stops me and says, I have a question for you. Do you have time? I said, he said, I don't know if you could answer this question. I like that Hagdama. I said, I could try. Anyway, he says the following. In Yiddish, he says, how do you know that Hashem is not schlecht? How do you know that Hashem is not bad? I thought that was such a powerful question. And it actually addresses very much what we're discussing here. I want you to think about it. How do you know Hashem is not bad? Hashem is only good. Have an amazing week.